So a common thing that we come across, God, I want to say almost every single client, especially if they have enterprise reps, are, hey, my team's very experienced. Like, how's the training going to align with that? Like, there's usually a really big concern with we have veteran sellers. Like, they don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be micromanaged. Like, and it's almost like there's this fear from the sales manager around having accountability conversations with them. How do we get reps like this to actually prospect when they've been told for years that they might not even need to? And that might have been the context in which they took the job, is that they weren't going to have to do outbound. So they almost feel like they're above it a bit. But how have you seen this in the client work that we're doing?
Yeah, I definitely think that this is more common in today's space when it comes to enterprise reps. And I think the first thing that reps need from us is they need the why. They need to understand the value behind what we're asking them to do. And the easiest way for sales leaders to approach that is to back it by data. And the data does show that pipeline that's generated by AEs closes at a much higher clip than inbound and SDR funnels. And so, if that's the case, and I'm an enterprise rep listening to that, why wouldn't I want to source my own pipeline if the probability of it closing is much higher? Or at least try and see if that is true in my industry, in my segment. So, the first thing I would say is back the ask by value and by data. And the second thing I would say is make it really easy to do the actual work and have it take maybe an hour of your day in building outbound pipeline. That's not a ton of time. Maybe it's even 30 minutes, but consistently put effort towards it. So I was working with this client. They were selling conversational AI software to big enterprise accounts. And the enterprise team was full of veterans who had been in the industry for a while, who had been at the company for a while, and had not been asked to prospect in many, many years. And we see this across the board, SDRs moving into AEs, and they're like, yes, I never have to make a cold call again in my life. It's just a different landscape. So, what they were asking their team to do was actually build some of their own pipeline and start making cold calls and sending cold emails. And so what we did is we were like, if they are changing their behavior and they have to adjust their calendar and their schedule in order to build some of their own pipeline, let's make it super easy for them. And we implemented AI prompts. The team was already leveraging ChatGPT because they're an AI company first. So they were doing that, but it wasn't consistent across the board in the way that they were utilizing it. So we gave them a standardized process to follow in ChatGPT that allowed them to prompt their AI to educate on who they are as a seller, the personas they sell to, and the information needed. Then to dig into the accounts. So find golden nuggets of information as to why you would reach out to this account in the first place and how you could add value. And then a really digestible email prompt. Create an email for me, 80 words or less, subject lines that are catchy under five words, that are mobile ready, and that align to the reason I'm reaching out, the challenge you may be having, and some social proof. Once we did about 2 weeks of this prompting, because it takes a while to get used to ChatGPT and going through the motion, by the end of the second week, they were spitting out these cold outbound emails within 5 minutes of using ChatGPT and researching accounts. And it really increased the amount of emails they could send, and then using those emails as cold outbound talk tracks. So making it really, really easy on the reps to actually do this new process or this new behavior, I think is critical to changing the culture.
Yeah, you almost in a way, like with these veteran reps, having something that you can teach them that they're not very good at. And right now, that thing is AI. Most
Mhm.
reps, I mean, would you say 90+% of reps that we work with in these like team trainings, like don't really know how to use AI that effectively?
Yeah, it's pretty basic. It's like rewrite this email for me to make it shorter. Or like, why do you think this company would have we would be able to add value to them? It's not super strategic and it's also not scalable prompting. If you're going to be prompting in
Yep.
ChatGPT to understand how to do your job easier, let's make that standardized and scalable and actual prompts that get you the information you're trying to find.
Yep. So getting these vet AEs to prospect, I think there's a novelty aspect of getting them excited to do that. We're using AI, whatever that thing is, like teach them something new. Um,
Mhm.
you brought up AI. Do you have any pointers on AI in terms of like we spend a lot of time creating very detailed prompts, and I think the common mistake is sort of what you alluded to in that expecting AI to be this like second brain that knows all of this stuff about your organization and your buyers and like all of this other kind of stuff, when it's just not the case. Like anytime I've seen someone complain about the output not being that great of AI, I always like look at the inputs. Like, what are you putting
Totally.
into this? What are you feeding it? But yeah, what advice do you have on for a company that's trying to make this more standardized? How should they be thinking about it?
Yeah, the AI prompts have to have an end goal in mind. So if you are prompting your AI to produce an outbound email, well, it has to start with doing the research, digging, understanding the type of structure you want it to follow in terms of the email. So I would say make the prompts build on top of each other. That's why we start with let's educate our AI on who we are and who we sell to and what we sell, and then let's have them align that context to digging into accounts to see what problems are these accounts facing and how does that align with who we are and what we're selling and what other problems personas have in that relative pain point. So have your prompts build on top of each other and have it be vague enough where you can apply it to different segments or different industries that you're selling to. I also think, Jason, to your point, you're like, you know, people kind of treat AI as a second brain, but it's really not that yet. That general rule of thumb, in which we say to all of our clients, is AI is going to produce some pretty strong things for you. Maybe sometimes it's mediocre, depending on the account and the information it can find. You need to approach using AI with this mindset of it's not black pen, it's red penning. So whatever it produces for you, you can take that, but then you need to go in and edit the email. You need to edit maybe some of the golden nuggets it produces for you of why you're reaching out. Maybe you need to distill some of the information down to make it more concise, but it's going to produce a lot of things for you. As a rep, you are the expert. You then should go in and red pen the information to make sure it sounds like you and it's strong and concise and to the point.